Hey everyone, it's been a while. In fact, it's been a couple of months. These last few months have been very chaotic to say the least, and I know a lot of you have many questions. You're curious about my side of the story. Don't worry, I brought receipts. I know most people won't care for what I have to say. The tea has gone cold and they've moved on to talking about people like Mudahar and Nuxtaku. But at least you're here watching this unmonetized video of mine, so you don't have to even worry about giving me money by viewing this video. Or maybe you're just viewing this through someone else's live stream who's looking to farm a few more clicks off of me. I'm not gonna sugarcoat things. I fucked up. I really dropped the ball on this situation. I can't even say that I was manipulated or enabled to get involved with the cine drama, because both my roommate and my girlfriend and even my neighbor told me that what I was doing was stupid and reckless. Even I knew that defending someone from the Art CC with allegations this serious would more than likely go bad for me. I, along with everybody who was close to me, expected me to get some backlash, but not this much backlash. They're not even telling me they told me so because they didn't even expect it to get this bad. But before I get into what's going on and all the allegations against me, I would like to apologize to a few people. I would like to apologize to my girlfriend, my roommate, and my neighbor for not listening to them. You guys know me best, and you were looking out for my best interest. I should have listened to you guys, and now I'm facing the consequences for my actions. I would like to apologize to my editor Lorenzo for any backlash he might have faced from editing my video. Even you were worried about things going wrong after I released the video, and I'm sorry for making you edit it in the first place. I hope the extra money I gave you can make up for my mistake. I would like to apologize to Eno for how my video affected her. You were so young, and no one should go through that at your age. Along with anyone who might have been made uncomfortable by things I've said in my video. And I'm also sorry to my fans for disappointing them. What I did was incredibly stupid, and I understand if you unsubscribed from me. I'm not upset with everybody who has made a video on me, because I can understand where a lot of them are coming from. Granted, there are a few people who have said some crazy things about me.
Like, I knew how this guy was. I warned you how he was. I told you what position you were in, and I was very conscious and scared on your behalf because of what position you're in. Jar could have raped you, and that's probably what he was trying to, like, that was probably his dream, his end goal.
I'm going over a lot more than just the cine stuff in this video, because just about every bad or questionable thing I have done is out there now. If you're only here for one specific allegation and you don't care to watch this entire video, don't worry, I will be providing timestamps for specific allegations. The biggest problem with my video draft about Cine by far is how soft I went on her. I regret that even more now due to the fact that new information has been released about Cine. I don't like being lied to, especially by people who wanted my help. But I fell for what she told me, being the gullible fool that I am. I didn't believe that Cindy is a pedo, and I still don't believe she's a pedo. I don't believe she had a desire to get with the minor, or exchange nudes with the minor. I never said what Cindy did was okay. I said it was wildly inappropriate and an optics nightmare. Usually I would expect that if someone was grooming, that the groomer would intend to get with them. At least this was my thought process at the time, based off of all the other grooming cases I have seen. I didn't believe she did what she did out of malicious intent or to hurt anyone. I really believe that she was just incredibly socially retarded, along with the fact that I really wanted to believe that she wasn't as guilty as everyone was painting her out to be, along with the fact that she was encouraged to draw suggestive artwork when she was 14. That's why I took pity on her, because I thought what she did was out of stupidity and not malice. I truly believed that I was onto something comparing this to the Pyro drama, because Pyro did learn of Ivory's age when they turned 16, not when they were 15, and he said, and I quote here, shouldn't have continued the furry stuff with him, along with the fact that Pyro got a 15-year-old who he knew was 15 to draw a thicker, lewder, sexier version of his avatar. I thought to myself, well, if people are okay with Pyro doing this, then why aren't they okay with Cindy's actions? I think we all know that if the Pyro drama started with Pyro immediately uploading a video saying, guys, I admit to it, I groomed a minor minor, and I knew what I was doing was wrong. That drama would have gone completely differently, and I believe that Cindy was gaslit into doing that by her roommate who goes by it pronouns. When I saw Kumo coming to the same conclusions about Cindy that I came to, along with witnessing him beating a few people in debates about it, I thought he might have been onto something, so I decided that I should help her as well. I now realize that not all the chat logs were released between Ivory and Pyro in the same way they were for Cindy. Also, I believe Cindy released the full logs herself, but I wasn't aware of that when I was working on my video. At least I don't think I was. On top of that, Cindy is a repeat offender to a very disturbing degree. It would be like Pyro getting accused of everything he did, with the Call Me Carson allegations on top of that, along with a bunch of other things. My main understanding of morality is that hypocrisy is the most objectable sin. I also understand that nothing can get you cancelled harder than a child grooming allegation that a lot of people believe. I saw how people flip-flopped on the Pyro drama, so I thought they were about to do the same with this situation. The first draft of my Cindy video was originally made to bash her. That being said, I still went softer on her than most people did, and I was planning to add more to my video draft as the drama went on. I really should have focused on being more professional and objective with the sensitive information around Cindy. Instead, I took her at her word, and I gave her way more charitability than she deserved. As you can hear at the end of the full call I had with Cindy, I said that I would be making a new draft in defense of Cindy before I talked to Jack. But yeah, I'm going to be changing my video a lot, and I'm also going to have to reach out to Jack because, you know, for all I know, you're
Uh-oh! Have fun with that, oh my god.
Yeah, I'm going to get the video ready because Jack, they're probably gonna panic and try to control the narrative. Like, I thought I was being fair by doing that because I only talked to Cindy after I had a draft ready to upload on her, but now I can see that was an incredibly stupid move. I was planning for Saturday to be a day where I would @ Jack on Twitter, along with a day to look over a whole bunch of videos about Cindy to make sure that my information was correct. Unfortunately, the last draft that I was still in the middle of adding stuff to was leaked by Kumo, and I panicked uploaded what I had. As you can see from this screenshot, which is of my Cindy video, I uploaded it unlisted on October 10th, which was a Tuesday, and the actual Cindy video was planned to go live on Sunday, but then Kumo leaked this version of the video, so I foolishly decided to upload this version because the other one still wasn't finished. I don't do YouTube full time, I have a job. I have Saturdays and Sundays off, that's why I was trying to do extra research on Saturday. He got it through Romantic Goblin, as I was in the middle of asking people to look over it to see if there was any mistakes I needed to correct. I asked people like Misanthropony, Akumu, not to be confused with Kumo, and others if they could look over my video. I was even debating on whether I should have Chud look it over because he knew about the Cindy situation. My roommate was also on a business trip and coming home on Saturday. I was planning to look over both docs with him very carefully. I have the worst case of dyslexia in the world, so it's very hard for me to do that myself. Yeah, my dyslexia often leads me to focus more on what I can hear rather than what I can read. Now I want to make this clear. When I have people look over certain drafts of videos I've made, I'm not just going to blindly agree with whatever opinion they have. If they disagree with something in my video, I have a discussion with them about it. That being said, 9 out of 10 times it comes down to just me rewording a certain point. I can't even begin to tell you all the different opinions people gave me on how I should go about making my response to all the allegations. This is why I was considering having Chud look over the video because I considered him to be an objective person. Granted, I went back and forth on whether I wanted him to look over it privately or on a live stream. I was also encouraged to have Chud look over my video by people like Romantic Goblin and Cindy.
You could correct me if I'm wrong, Kumo, but didn't you say the same thing on the Chud Logic stream, something she also watched but was happy with the conclusion of?
Yeah,
When you
no, I
called in
said
for
the exact same thing on a stream that you had no issues with.
I agreed to do this, even though I didn't know that much about Chud. I just knew he did a video on me a really long time ago, and out of any video I've ever seen on me, I thought it was the best one ever made. Ironically, he was covering my video on cancel culture.
Never know for what or when you'll be cancelled. Maybe you were live streaming and you suddenly screamed out the N-word. Maybe you lied about a drama which caused people to dig into your past about other dramas you have talked about. Maybe you're completely innocent and the allegations against you are false. But too many people are against you and they won't listen. Or maybe you don't have the evidence to prove your innocence. I know cancellation will come for me one day. It comes for everyone. It's not a question of if it will happen to me, it's when. Will it happen in 2025, 2022, or maybe this year? We won't know for sure until it happens.
Yeah, that video aged like a fine wine. I may not fully understand myself as a person, but I do understand that I say off-the-cuff stuff all the time, and that I'm autistic. Me getting cancelled was never a question of if it would happen, but when. I was never foolish enough to believe that I would be the only autistic man on the internet to never get cancelled. If my roommate came home on time, he definitely would have told me, hey, this draft sucks and you need to change a lot of things about it. This is why I didn't ask my roommate to help me debate anyone. He loves debating and he's really good at it, but he only had superficial context as to what was going on, so it wouldn't have been right for me to ask him for help. Me asking him to jump into a random stream and help me debate a topic he didn't know that much about would have more than likely made things worse for me. On top of that, with a little bit of the situation I did explain to him, he told me it was a bad idea to get involved. Yes, I absolutely regret not listening to him, and I'm so sorry for it. Some people said I should have flagged or copyright strike down Kumo's video, but I'm gonna be honest here. Once a video is out there, it's kind of out there. And I've seen what happens to other YouTubers when they try to strike down a video. Long story short, it doesn't end well for them. Kumo uploading my video ruined a lot of things for me. It kept me from reaching out to Jack and doing further research on the topic. Even if I didn't upload my unfinished draft, I still would have received a ton of backlash. Just not as much backlash as I'm receiving now. Because of my lack of research on the situation, I did not understand how bad he really was, until I had a call with Himpleton. Yes, I understand he's getting cancelled right now, which made my drama blow up even more, but he still explained the situation to me and helped me understand where I went wrong. So for that, I have to thank him. Apparently, Cindy told Enno that it wasn't a big deal that she had a rape fetish at 11, and she also got Enno, who was 14 at the time, to read out the rape comic. And that makes the whole situation way more disturbing than I originally was led to believe. When I was 14, I did an unpaid internship for a ranger station, and one time this guy came by and we were cleaning up the canyon together, and he showed me a whole bunch of porno magazines he found while cleaning up. He was an adult, I was 14, but I didn't feel disturbed by the situation. However, he did not get me to read out the porno magazines or anything like that. When Himpleton explained this to me, that was the moment everything hit me. Oh my god, I can't believe what I have done, and I'm so sorry for it. I should have done better research. Now granted, I am not happy with Himpleton leaking our call without asking me for permission first, and I'm also not happy with him saying he was pulling an op on me. However, he still did help me out a lot, so I have to thank him for that. Just to give you an example of the extra research I could have done on Cine, this doc was released on the same day Kumo uploaded my video onto his channel. Unlike the other two docs, it's short and straight to the point. If I saw this, I would have held off on uploading my video to do extra research. But because of what Kumo did, I panicked and uploaded what I had. When I uploaded the Cine video to my channel, all I could think about was how unprepared I was for this situation. I came across as very arrogant in that video due to past success of going against the mainstream commentary community opinion and coming out on top. Granted, often when I upload a video on YouTube, I get anxiety. I think to myself, oh no, this is the video that's going to get me cancelled. Hopefully it will go over well. That's why I try to hype myself up, because often when you come across as confident in a video, it makes people more willing to hear you out. Granted, it's a double-edged sword because it can make you come across as an arrogant douchebag as well. As for the way I interviewed Cine, I have no excuses for myself. I was completely unprofessional with how I handled that interview. The interview was very cringe and my questions were leading. I was thinking about redoing it, but I thought that would be dishonest. Also, I leaked out the full version of the interview, not Cine. Lyle Convoy asked me for it, and I sent it to him after thinking things over for a few days. I could have said I didn't have it anymore, but I wanted to be honest. At the end of the day, I shouldn't have even entertained the idea of making that video in defense of Cine. It was reckless, it was stupid, and I deserve to be dunked on for it. The only part of the video that aged well is what I said about Jack. From the very beginning, I knew there was something that wasn't adding up about this drama, and it was Jack. They're getting bashed for stuff hard right now, but I know for a fact they're not going to leave the internet. They're way too addicted to it. My entire Cine video wasn't terrible, but enough takes were so bad that I shouldn't have uploaded it. You might think that this video is over now. After all, my Cine video is the main problem people have, right? Well, surprisingly, no. In fact, I would actually go as far as to say that it's only 1/10 of the reason as to why I'm getting cancelled right now. Because Cindy thought it would be a good idea to leak our DMs, even though I was sticking my neck out to help her. Now, I've been called a simp for defending someone before. I've been called a simp for Peaches, Antunes, Mari, and many others. But because the DMs between me and Cindy were leaked, the simping allegations actually have some evidence for once. However, the allegations of me simping for Cindy are false. I can understand why someone would believe I was simping, especially if they didn't know me as a person. I'm gonna be real here. Me saying wanna see my cock, followed up by a picture of a chicken, or me commenting nice pussy when someone shows me their cat, are common jokes I've made multiple times with multiple different people. I can't believe I used the same cock joke on the same person twice. The only compliment I gave her was calling her Mamacita. Here's the audio clip.
Alright, Mamacita, I'll hit you up when I get home.
As you can clearly see, I was making a race joke, not actually trying to hit on her. When I do hit on women, I don't put on a voice like that. I can't believe people thought this was my attempt to sound sexy. I talk to both men and women like this, it's just how I joke around. For example, here are a few audio clips I've sent to Akumu, not to be confused with Kumo.
Me and you, man, we're gonna make some magic together. Akumu, trust me, our team up on YouTube is gonna result in yaoi being drawn of us. It's gonna be great. Yes, yaoi, boys and lover.
Let's be real here. If I said this to Cindy or any woman, I would never hear the end of it. I'm gonna be honest here, I think telling someone we're gonna make some magic together and that people will draw ship art of us is a lot more sexual than saying wanna see my cock and sending an image of a chicken. I also have ship art of me and another YouTuber. It's Manga Common, who is a guy. It's Rule 63 versions of our avatars kissing in underwear.
Now, the whole world pretty much knows what I jerk off to.
I have no desire nor romantic interest in getting together with Manga Common. If I had art like this commissioned of me and Cindy, oh my god, I would never be able to get out of this. I also said this to her in our interview, which was the first time I ever had a call with her.
Like, here's the thing, I'm way more sexist than I'm racist.
At least you're admitting to it.
What do you know, you're a woman.
I'm gonna be honest here, being sexist towards women, even if it's done in a joking way, is not a good way to get them to fall for you. As more and more DMs between me and other women got leaked, people started believing that I didn't simp for Cindy, but I was simping for every woman I've ever talked to. I heard some people saying, oh, maybe he just talks to every woman like this. The truth is, I talk to every person like this, both men and women. It's just how I joke around. Here's some friendly advice. Telling a woman, wanna see my cock and sending a picture of a chicken is not a good way to pick up chicks. If I truly believed it was a good way to pick up chicks, then I would have pursued every woman I sent this to romantically. But aside from one, I don't think I've pursued any of these women. Yeah, I did send this to my girlfriend as a joke, but we talked for several months before we actually got together. I didn't send it to her as a pickup line, I legitimately just thought it was funny. One of my thumbnail artists even sent out this voice clip.
What a cute little pussy.
I think it's pretty clear from my tone of voice that I'm making a joke. I'm not actually drunk. But here's the context as to why I sent that voice clip. Cat the cat spelled with a K instead of a C. Next time you leak something out, make sure to edit your reaction. Saying Lamau implies you thought it was funny, not creepy. Some people have accused me of sending the chicken image to get out of sending my dick when someone says no to me. Then why is it that out of all the examples I have found, is there no one saying no to me? Pretty much every single questionable DM of mine has been leaked, so there should be at least one image of my joystick. I'm not going to send a picture of my dick over the internet. Plus, I wouldn't want any of you males to feel inadequate. I'm also not going to lie, people trying to hunt down an actual picture of my cock is a little bit creepy. But of course, the big one is me falling asleep on calls with her. I'm going to be honest, out of everything, this was the main thing that I didn't want to get leaked out. I have incredibly bad sleep insomnia. I have blackout curtains, and I often use different methods to help me sleep, such as melatonin, NyQuil, and more. I even have earplugs and use a fan as background sound. Talking to someone as I fall asleep, waiting for the pills to kick in, is one of the easiest ways to help me fall asleep. I could only call Cindy near the end of the day, when she and I were both off of work. It's not like I fell asleep while the call was still going or anything like that. Professor Dreadlock has talked to me as I fell asleep numerous times. Unfortunately, he was on a business trip. Last time he went on a trip, I did this with someone else, and that person did not come to the conclusion that it was a romantic or a sexual thing. Because of my autism, I'm very blunt with the request I make. Falling asleep on call with someone was literally done to help me sleep. I was taking Adderall to finish up the Cine video, so that is one of the reasons why I had such a hard time passing out. I used to do what many people have referred to as sleepy time calls on Skype all the time. The only problem is Skype deletes your messages after 3 years, so I don't have the proof for that. Luckily, one of my old friends has agreed to give his testimony. Hey man, so we've been friends for like several years, right?
Yeah, so since like we were like 6 or 7.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And we moved in together. How many years or months would you say we lived together?
That would have been like 2016-ish, like maybe about like half a year or so.
And you told me that I was borderline asexual a handful of times, right?
You might have had a thing for Gonzalo.
Our 470-pound roommate?
He was that heavy?
Yeah, but you did say I was borderline asexual a handful of times, right?
I guess so, yeah.
What do you think about the way I talk to both men and women?
I mean, you just don't have a filter in general. That's sort of like, you just talk to people sort of like wild stuff.
Yeah, I got warnings from both you and many other people that this would bite me in the ass one day, but I never thought it would be this bad.
Yeah, this is like the hardest you've ever been canceled.
Yeah, but the biggest issue people seem to have with me is not the inappropriate way I talk, but the way I fell asleep on calls with her, and that's why I had to come to you. Out of anyone, I think you know about my sleep patterns better than anyone else.
Yeah, like it'll pace back and forth sometimes, just thinking these times, like now and then.
Was there ever a time I talked to you as I fell asleep?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, it would help me fall asleep too now and then. It's good and relaxing, you know, like ASMR. Just hearing a person's voice it's a good thing, you know?
Yeah, did you ever think it was a romantic or sexual thing when I talked to you or any of our roommates as I fell asleep?
I mean, no. I mean, that would be kind of weird if it was.
Yeah, I get that, especially when you consider the fact that we were all guys and I'm not gay.
I mean, maybe 1 or 2 times with, like, Gonzo, but...
Shut the fuck up! I almost did this as well with another person involved in this situation, and that is Romantic Goblin. I will admit, this is a weird and abnormal thing I do, but I don't do it in a romantic or sexual way. Even Cindy herself admitted she thought it was just me being autistic.
You know, like, how could he get caught in a cheating scandal or dumped by his girlfriend if nobody will believe it ever happened? And now you're acting uncertain that was the case.
I didn't think it was at the time. At the time, I thought it was just being, like, weird. I didn't think it was, like, an actual pass. Like, I was assuming that he was, like...
You're smarter than you're letting on.
Because I just thought it was strange to say, because it's just not something you say.
Because you thought it was a flirt.
Not really, it's just...
Well, then why would it be strange?
I mean, I don't know, it's just not a thing I hear people say very often.
So what else could it have been?
Just him being autistic? I don't fucking know.
Did you actually stay on the phone with him while he went to sleep?
I thought I was being a friend. I thought he was trying to be a friend to me.
Granted, she later changed her stance to the popular opinion, saying things like how she felt so violated by me. But I have to ask, where am I simping or cheating? I don't see this as simp behavior. I'm not constantly giving her compliments and money. At first people said this was cheating, then they later walked it back to emotional cheating. Where's the emotion in saying I want to see my cock followed up by a picture of a chicken? If there was some more evidence, like me constantly giving her compliments or confiding in her emotionally, then I think this would be an open and shut case, but the thing is, no one has any evidence like that. Kumo knew what was going on. Why didn't he ask Cindy to ask me how I truly felt about her, or something along those lines? That would have been undeniable proof, and I would have no way of getting out of it. Yes, I do find Cindy's avatar attractive, but 99% of the time, people's avatars look a lot more attractive than they do in real life. Even my robot avatar looks more attractive than me. I didn't know what Cindy looked like in real life at the time, time. I'm not going to hit on a woman that I haven't even seen before. Hopeless Peaches had an incredibly attractive avatar, but in real life she looked like an Albinoric from Elden Ring. Not the hot ones that ride on wolves, the ones that look like frogs. I never asked for a picture of what Cindy looked like in real life, and I never did a video call with her. I don't want people to believe that I was simping or cheating, but even if I can't convince any of you, there's at least one person who believes that I wasn't simping or cheating, and that's my girlfriend. And honestly, I think I should care more about her opinion than the opinions of random people on the internet. Don't get me wrong, with everybody yelling at me and all the videos made on me, I started questioning my reality, asking myself if I really did cheat on my girlfriend. I was starting to buy into the negative hype surrounding me. I started believing that I cheated on my girlfriend, but after looking over things more clearly and talking with my girlfriend, I realized I didn't cheat on her, and I would never cheat on her. She's the most wonderful person I've ever been with. It's very odd that the main narrative around Cindy was that she was a groomer but not a pedo, but now all of a sudden people are saying I rizzed up a pedo, or that I cheated on my girlfriend with a pedo. Seriously, who do you guys think I am, Monkey Jones? I didn't have any sexy roleplays with Cindy, or any roleplays for that matter. I never requested her to draw me any lewd art.
Did you guys goon together at all?
No, what the fuck?
He didn't make it like in your phone calls with him. You guys didn't do anything freaky.
No, he mostly just talked about fucking like Star Wars and shit. And I mostly just talked about my cat, like...
Now, I did admit that I wanted Cindy as an ally, but I didn't elaborate on what I meant by that. I've been working with a Kumu, not to be confused with Kumo, who was slandered by the ArchCC. I was also slandered by the ArchCC, and I thought Cindy was as well. I worked with Peaches, who was slandered by the ArchCC, and we did a lot of good together, but Peaches only went after people who talked about them. I knew I couldn't stop people from getting slandered by the ArchCC by myself. I needed help. But stopping commentators from slandering people, even if it's a niche group of commentators, is an absolute pipe dream, and I'm giving up on it. I didn't help people like Hopeless Peaches, Antunes, Mari, or Princess Elizabeth 013 with the expectations that they would return my kindness one day. Granted, I always hoped that they would join me and help me help out other people who were slandered, but it almost never happened. Putting my channel and reputation at risk to help another YouTuber rarely gets me views or any form of benefit. Often it means I will have to deal with their haters from now on, or they'll come after me for not helping them out enough. I'm not the best judge of character, and I think it's time I stop trying to be a little internet hero. I now understand more than ever before why other people don't do this. I want to make this clear, whenever I defend anyone, I'm not saying they're a perfect little angel who didn't do anything wrong. Not every allegation about Cindy was true, but enough of them were. But I know you guys aren't just here for this stuff about Cindy. You're also here regarding the allegations involving the image of Jade Animations lifting up her shirt. First of all, yeah, I always had a thing for Jade Animations' avatar. I've never kept that fact hidden. I even asked her out on a date at the end of my first Daft Pina video, and then she immediately uploaded a video saying that she was asexual. Jesus, I've never been rejected that hard. But of course, the more important part about all of this is the age of the person who drew this picture for me. A document was made roughly a week after I got involved in the Cine drama. Basically, a person who I will be referring to as K was in one of my Discord servers. According to their document, they were in a VC with me, and I made a request for my avatar to be S-ing Jade Animations. Then everybody yelled at me that there was a minor in the call, and I lowered the request to just Jade Animations lifting up her shirt. And Kay, who was 17 at the time, was the one who drew it for me. The most damning claim in this document doesn't have any evidence to support it. To my knowledge, the call wasn't recorded, and I don't think I or most people would remember what they said in a specific VC over 4 years ago. I don't know what I said, but I don't think I said that. I'm pretty sure this was just put in the document to make me sound as much like Cindy as possible. My best guess is I was making a video about Jade Animations porn, and I wanted something to be used in a thumbnail, and Kay offered to do it for me so she could get the art role. Let's be honest here, this picture of Jaden looks like it would be more at home in a thumbnail than in someone's wank bank. After they made the art for me, several months later, they told me that they were 17 at the time they made it. When I saw this message, I didn't know how to respond. It was just before Christmas, so I got ready for the holidays and forgot all about her message. So as you can see, they told me their age after they made the art. According According to their document, they didn't want to come out about this sooner because I was a big, scary, and intimidating YouTuber. But the thing is, I was getting cancelled about 4 years ago during the Prismate Luke and Toby drama, and that was only a few months after they made this art for me, so that would have been the perfect time to release this. The people I was dealing with back then were cartoonishly uncharitable. She really missed out on a big opportunity. You can also see from our DMs, which Kay showed from the bottom up for some reason, she was always the one starting the conversation with me and not the other way around. Literally, the last quote-unquote conversation we had was the same year the Cine drama happened, in 2024. If I was a big, scary, intimidating YouTuber, then why did they continue talking to me? Why did they make the art just for a Discord role? And if they thought it was wrong, then why didn't they tell anyone about it before the drama around me happened? After they got slight pushback, once they put this document out in the public, they deleted their Twitter. So they kind of just nuked themselves and me for literally no gain. However, the document was out just long enough to do lasting damage to me. Even Chud, Kuimon, and Himpleton, along with their chat, thought this was a bit ridiculous. Keep in mind, I'm public enemy number 1 right now, so my reputation is at an all-time low, which means the charitability people will give me is not very high. She got interviewed and admitted to being overdramatic. However, there's a reason why I'm calling her Kay instead of her Discord name, and that's because I don't want you to send her any hate. Now, I understand her name is already out there in other people's videos, but I personally don't want to send her any more hate for one specific reason, and that's because she acted completely differently in the interview than how she came across in her doc, which to me heavily implies that someone else wrote it for her, or at the very least, someone manipulated her into writing the document in the way she did. I can't believe that throughout my entire time on the internet, I've only requested 2 pieces of quote-unquote goon art, and one of them caused this much drama around me. Goddamn. Yeah, aside from these 2 images, there's no other piece of goon art that I have requested. I have one of them just to see if someone would make it just for a Discord role, and the other one was to fuck with Manga Common. The only evidence that exists that implies I knew her age at the time was from this screenshot. However, I'm dyslexic, so I only skimmed her message and replied with, "That's sweet of you, thank you," just so I could be polite. I was talking to a lot of people back then. I'm not gonna read that much text from someone I barely know. That's way too much work. Reading gives me a massive headache. As for her age and birthday in her bio, back then I didn't really check those, plus it doesn't show up on my laptop for some reason. It does, however, show up on my mobile device, but I use Discord on my laptop 99% of the time. If anyone knows why this is the case, please tell me in the comments down below. However, I still made a mistake here, because whether she was 7, 17, or 70, I should have 100% asked for her age beforehand. So for that reason, I have to apologize. Kay, I'm sorry for being an irresponsible server owner. You were 17, and it was my job to check your age beforehand. Now, some people, like Ghost Cato, have tried to increase this allegation all the way to a grooming allegation. No wonder why Just a Robot was so eager to defend Cine. Skullface, pedos of a feather, flock together, IG. Where did they get the pedophilia from this? Jaden Animations is the same age as me. It's not like I was asking for sexy artwork of that anime VTuber Shark Girl or anything like that. I have to say, if you actually believe this is grooming, then I must be the worst groomer in the world. I make them draw 1 picture for me, then barely interact with them for 4 years. The next big allegation against me is kind of like the first one. I sent this image to someone who was apparently a minor at the time. I sent it because I honestly thought it was funny. Like, I think you guys can see the comedic nature of this image. Here's all my DMs with this person. As you can see, we barely spoke, and they sent me some inappropriate stuff, like a video about Kronk judging the size of your dick. I acknowledged their age near the end of the chat because I just found out what their age was around this time. However, I did not check their age at the time, so to comedic autism, I am sorry for not double checking your age before sending you this image. Now, some people have accused me of having a fart fetish from this image, even though I think it's the only fart image I've ever sent, and I sent it because I thought it was funny, not because I thought it was hot. Some people have even said that the person in the box is me. I guess everybody forgot how to reverse Google image search. Not every bald guy is me. That's fucking dumb. I sent this image around the same time I requested the Jaden drawing, so it's clear to me that back then I wasn't very good at checking people's ages. But I have learned to do so, and as far as I'm aware, I haven't repeated this mistake. No one called me out for this back then, I just corrected it on my own. I think there's only one more big allegation against me that I think I need to go over. And that's the stuff surrounding VidCon 2023. First of all, I'm a little shocked that they held on to this for over a year. Yeah, the ArtCC wasn't planning anything against me, nothing at all. Basically, just before VidCon started, I showed off my new thumbnail for my Spoctor video. Obviously, it had an EDP joke in it because, well, I love making jokes about EDP. Bro is the most exposed man on the internet. And Spoctor had the nudes of a 13-year-old on his flash drive, and EDP went to go meet up with a 13-year-old. So that was the thought process behind the joke. People in the ArtCC had an issue with this, and eventually I came to the conclusion that the problem was that people would come across this thumbnail and immediately assume I was comparing him directly to EDP, so I decided to change it. Now granted, they don't seem to have the same problem with other clickbait titles and thumbnails about me, but I guess it's one of those rule for thee but not for me kind of things. But I still thought we were on friendly terms and we would meet up at VidCon. I sent this inappropriate joke to Mal, and she did not take very kindly to it. I should note that I was a bit high at the time. Weed is illegal in Texas, but in California it's very easy to get. But the bigger issue was me constantly pushing to meet up with her. Eventually I told her that I'll leave her be because I had no more plans to meet up with her because she didn't want to see me. Now I did later apologize for this, but unfortunately it came a little bit too late. Admittedly, I should have stopped after she said no the first time. I was walking around at VidCon doing stuff at different panels. Eventually I got hungry. I bought some ice cream, I sat down to eat it, and then I heard Ponder's voice and looked to my left, seeing that she was sitting right next to me. So I shook her hand, revealed who I was, she exclaimed, "Oh my god," and I walked away. I thought it was funny. Ponder described this interaction as a lot more creepy than it really was, adding things like me squeezing her hand and other stuff like that. Or that I was laughing maniacally as I walked away. I did laugh, but it wasn't until I was inside. She talked about this interaction literally a year later, and drew me as a sexy elf boy for some reason. She kept me anonymous, of course. A bit odd that my anonymity was important until I was getting bashed. I'm confused as to what the allegation is here. It's just a handshake. I didn't put my arm around her and say the N-word. Ponder has drawn my avatar in very compromising positions a handful of times without my request or consent. I want to make this clear, I don't really care how she drew my avatar. If the genders were reversed, what I did would have been seen as no big deal, but what she did would have been seen as a huge deal. The problem with this allegation is I don't know what people are accusing me of. It was just a handshake. People have claimed I cheated on my girlfriend by doing this, even though we got together after this interaction occurred, and I think a handshake is one of the most unromantic things you can do with a person. I don't think this is sexual assault, it's just two hands touching. I wasn't hunting the others down at VidCon. If I was, I would have just stayed there with Ponder. I knew she was friends with them, and I knew they were going to meet up. Basically, the allegation about me hunting the others down at VidCon has no proof backing it up. In fact, all the proof seems to contradict that claim. I sat next to Ponder by complete accident. I wasn't going to pass up on that opportunity. Then there was another allegation about me hunting them down at VidCon 2024. From the video evidence I have seen, the video footage just shows them running or hiding from someone who is allegedly me, but they don't show me in any of their video footage. There's not one single shred of evidence that I was looking for them. Sure, I was keeping an eye out for Ponder. If I saw her, I was just gonna say, "Hey, did you see Akumu's new video on you?" and then walk away. That was about it. If there was video evidence of me running up the escalator to catch them, or chasing them around at panels, that would for sure make me look very creepy. But just for the sake of argument, let's take their word on it. Let's say I was hunting them down at VidCon and chasing after them. Then what was I gonna do when I caught them? Shake their hand again? Sorry, but I'm gonna keep going to VidCon. I'm not looking for you guys, and I hope you guys aren't looking for me. We can both enjoy it separately. As much as they say that I'm paranoid, I think they're really the paranoid ones. I just wanted to meet up with them at VidCon, and all of this happened. Goddamn. I think this became less important as my drama started, but I might as well nip this in the butt right now. I was letting the YouTuber Zaid aka Misanthropony upload videos on my channel. He left YouTube due to threatening people he doesn't like on alt accounts and then lying about it, and then repeating the same process a few more times. I decided to give him one more chance. His fans missed his content, and I'm not gonna lie, it made me some money. Unfortunately, by doing this, it meant I had to deal with some of Zaid's haters myself, and they're, an interesting group.
Listen well. I'm gonna make you wish that you'd stayed gone. Tune on in.
As far as I'm aware, while Zaid was on my channel, he didn't mess up by creating alt accounts. Due to the cine drama I got myself involved in, I told him it was best if we go our separate ways so he doesn't get any more hate. He asked me to take his videos down off of my channel once my response came out, and I agreed to do that. But then he asked me to take them down even sooner, along with asking me to advertise his channel on my community tab, give it a shout out in my response video, and advertise it in my Discord. I agreed to this, so I took his videos down, which is why suddenly a bunch of my content disappeared. I wasn't trying to hide anything, nor was I trying to say, oh look, Zaid's videos are no longer on my channel, you guys can like me now. I literally just took them down because he asked me to. He made those videos, so I thought he had the final say on the matter. And I was gonna boost his new channel, but I decided not to because he was calling me a pedo apologist on his new channel. Yeah, he wanted me to send my fans to his new channel so he could bash me. In my humble opinion, that's a pretty scummy thing to do. I don't think he knows what that word means, because the main reason why I defended Cinny was because I thought she wasn't a pedo. If she was a pedo and trying to get with a minor, I wouldn't have even entertained the idea of defending her. I really should have heeded the warnings of people who told me not to work with the guy. Zaid, if you're watching this, you are a talented guy. You make great videos. Forget about your haters. You're always gonna have haters. Just upload your great, amazing content and let them cope and see that you're a success. I have this issue where I see someone that everybody else hates and I just want to help them out. It's a pattern of behavior that has bitten me in the ass over and over and over again. I just see someone that no one likes and I think if they just had one person defend them, maybe they can turn everything around. At first, people said it was not only okay, but a good thing that Kumo leaked an early draft of my video before it was ready. They claimed he only did it to keep me from uploading my video, which isn't the best strategy in my opinion. It's kind of like stopping your friend from shooting a guy in the face by taking the gun and shooting the guy in the face yourself. And also, I don't think what Kumo did has ever worked, like, ever. But people seem to start walking back on this claim once they realized that Kumo wasn't all there.
None of you know what the fuck you're even talking about! You keep twisting the context! And people wonder why I get upset, people wonder why I get loud, and people wonder why I fucking scream. I'm gonna start flashing.
Kumo was trying to sabotage me because he doesn't like me.
But the parts that were problematic were specifically things that I would care about, and I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that because I was so focused on the guy I already didn't like. And the guy that I was already concerned was going to, try and do shit to you. Do you understand, Cinny, that you are in, the perfect position for him to take advantage of you?
It all started when I had to deal with the very poorly photoshopped allegations of grooming a 13-year-old girl. He seemed to believe they were real more than anyone else I talked to about them, and it took me a few minutes to convince him that they were clearly poorly photoshopped. You see, once Kumo is a little suspicious that you might be a pedo or a groomer, he's gonna hold on to that opinion forever. By the way, a lot of people have been commenting underneath my grooming a 13-year-old allegations video that it aged poorly or that Chaos55T was in the right. I just gotta say that's absolutely disgusting. This is stupidly one of the main reasons as to why I thought he was onto something when it came to the Cine Barrow 3 drama. I thought to myself, if this guy has such a low bar to call someone a pedo or a groomer, but he doesn't think this person's a groomer, then he's probably right. Basically, I thought maybe I should listen to the least charitable guy being charitable for once. I thought people just weren't listening to him because, well, pretty much everybody hated him. Unfortunately, I forgot who I was getting myself involved with. Kumo, unprompted mind you, leaked his own DMs with Cinny, and they looked even worse than mine. I don't know what he was thinking, he kind of just nuked us both. Then people found out more stuff about Kumo, such as the leg cutting incident. Then he tried to accuse me of trying to meet up with Cinny and rape her. No, he had no evidence for this. He said something to Cinny to convince her that I was a rapist, but it's bleeped out. Apparently he has evidence that I'm a rapist, but he's not releasing it to the public for whatever reason. I can't fully blame him for doing this. I mean, he convinced people that leaking out my video was a good thing, and he convinced people that I was hitting on Cinny. The thing is, though, people would believe those things at face value because they're funny, but rape allegations are very serious, so people were a lot more skeptical. He was bashed for this, and then I think he tried to copyright claim someone's video for using his traced art in their thumbnail. Apparently, uploading my entire video before it's fully ready is a-okay, but don't you dare put Kumo's traced art in your thumbnail, because that's a step too far. After that, he couldn't handle the backlash and left the internet. Goblin Girl was all alone and eventually she gave up too. By the way, it took Kumo less than 2 weeks after my drama began to give up. Yes, him and Goblin Girl didn't even gain anything from sabotaging me. Goddamn. Kumo's a very young adult and he's clearly dealing with a lot of demons. I hope he gets the help he needs. Dude's younger than Cinny. He has his whole life ahead of him. I think he still has the potential to change. There are some smaller allegations against me, like how my roommate isn't actually black, or that me and my roommate jack each other off, or that I make videos on a combination of cocaine, Adderall, and magic mushrooms. Every other allegation I've heard against me doesn't really have any proof backing it up, or the proof contradicts it, like the claim that I got a rape fetish from watching anime, even though I literally said the opposite.
Like to have a rape fetish at 11.
I mean, I think it's common to have a rape fetish, but not at 11. Like,
No,
don't get me
exactly.
wrong. I developed a gender bent fetish at like 7 or 8, but that's because I watched Ranma 1/2, and it developed early on. But like, I didn't develop a rape fetish from watching Berserk.
I won't lie, this whole drama has not been fun for me to go through. I joined the losing side in a big drama, and the people I joined tried to sabotage me and destroy me. If it wasn't for my girlfriend's support, I don't think I would have been able to come back as soon as I did. I was thinking about giving up, but then she told me that plenty of other YouTubers have gotten way more backlash than me, and they haven't given up. Turkey Tom, The Quartering, Blair White, Seth the Programmer, Illumations, Tipster, Nostalgia Critic, Killer Keemstar, Vosh, Kraut, and even more. I've seen multiple YouTubers get less backlash than me and give up, but I think I'm going to stay. However, I'm going to take a long hiatus. I'm only taking a hiatus from uploading videos, but I'm going to keep on working on videos just as much as I always have. So once I come back in August, I'll have plenty of videos to upload. My channel hasn't been doing so hot all of 2024, so I think it's time I take a step back and re-examine everything. I want my content to be more consistent across all of my channels. I also think taking a break from YouTube would not only be a good thing for my mental health, but also because it has changed so much. It's not YouTube anymore, it's the gay love child of TikTok and Twitch. I've seen so many YouTubers say they're going to take a break, only to not do so, and then they mess up a lot. So I'm going to try to avoid making the same mistakes as them. Trust me, I wanted to make this video longer, I wanted to debunk more allegations against me, but if I make this video too long, well, people aren't going to check it out. The bigger I get on YouTube, the more haters I'm going to get. So I'm just going to have to deal with the fact that people are going to believe things about me that are untrue, just like a lot of big YouTubers have to deal with. Throughout my time on YouTube, I've dealt with false murder allegations that a lot of people believed, poorly photoshopped grooming allegations, rape allegations, grooming the groomer allegations, getting backstabbed by people I was trying to help, and so much more. I just need to take a step back and take a break for a little bit. I hate that people can literally say anything about me and it's treated as fact, even if they have no evidence for their claim. I debunked our gentleman's video on me, he took it down, quit YouTube for several months, and once this drama around me happened, he re-uploaded it, and it got over 200,000 views. Come on, that's a bitch move. Know what else is a bitch move? People coming out with allegations against me that if they released at any other time wouldn't have been taken seriously at all. If you think these allegations are half as damning as you painted them out to be, then you should have released them way sooner. But I guess you got a lot of views and attention, so I suppose it was worth it. Someone told me that more videos have been made on me than Cinny. I don't know if that's true or not, but it feels true. I know there are people who haven't made a video on Cinny, but did make a video on me. Being more hated than a groomer is not a good feeling. A lot of YouTubers I'm subscribed to made videos on me. Not only did they make videos on me, but those videos did really well for their channels. It felt like even the algorithm was against me. That's why this response took so long. I had to gather so many receipts to prove my innocence. I don't think people were going to let me ignore this. When you take every single mistake anyone has ever made and line them up in a row, we all look like monsters. This drama has shown me one thing: people for years couldn't wait to see my downfall. And it sucks to know that. But not everyone is against me. A lot of people want to see me make a comeback. And I understand that for the last couple of months on YouTube, I've been acting a little bit crazy. I should have taken a break a lot longer ago, but I'm going to do so now.